Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. These are the Brooks Hyperion 3. They've had some changes from the Hyperion 2 that affect how they feel underfoot and their performance. So if we look at the midsole first, they still have the DNA Flash version 2 inside. However, they feel slightly different because they've increased the amount of stack underneath your foot. We now have 36 mils in the rear foot, 26 in the forefoot, so that's 2 mil extra stack in the rear and in the forefoot, giving you that 8 mil drop. And you really notice a difference, especially in the forefoot. So I found in the forefoot in the version 2, if you went for longer distance runs, it was just lacking a little bit of protection underneath the ball of the foot, so you could really feel that contact with the ground. However, that's 2 mil of extra stack, even though it's quite small, has made a big difference, so it's a lot softer and a lot smoother of a transition from the back to the front of the shoe. It's also a little bit stiffer as a result, so it's a little bit harder to bend, so a bit more forgiving for those of you who get sensitivity around the ball of the foot. They've also increased the stability of the shoe despite it being a neutral shoe, so we have a slightly broader base than what we saw in version 2, just again to increase that amount of contact that you have with the ground. We have very slight sidewalls on the inside and the outside of the shoe to provide some extra elements of stability. We also have a more aggressive forefoot rocker in version 3 to help facilitate that push-off phase of the gait cycle, and as a result we've got a little bit more toe spring. So toe spring is where your toes are held in slight elevation. That can be beneficial for the push-off phase of the gait cycle, but again, those of you with sensitivity on the forefoot, you may not enjoy this. Underneath the shoe, we've had a change in the outsole rubber as well, so a little bit more gaps in between the rubber, I assume to help facilitate more grip, and a tiny bit more thickness in the outsole rubber as well, which has probably contributed to that increased stiffness in the forefoot alongside the extra 2 mils of stack. We've also got a slightly better heel bevel on the back of the shoe, and as we move up on top of the shoe, we've got a brand new engineered mesh on top. It's a wrapped fit around your foot, which is really comfortable. It doesn't feel too tight on your foot overall. It's a relatively snug fit. Those of you with a wider foot may struggle with the sizing on this in terms of the width and the toe box. As far as I know at the moment, it doesn't come in a wide version. It's a true to size and length for me, if anything a tad too long, but no problem, I didn't have to get a half size up. It's got a really nice cloth elasticated tongue on top that's gusseted, so that had a really good lockdown, and they've got a really thick heel cup, so lots of padding around the heel cup with this external material on the outside of it, similar to what we see in the Brooks Glycerin 22 and the Gel Nimbus 27, except without the pull on top. So I'm not quite sure what the function of this is, apart from maybe keeping out some dirt and debris. On the back of the shoe, we've got a relatively stiff heel counter to provide extra elements of stability. And coupled up with that nice thick heel pad, those of you with sensitivity on the back of the heel, you may not enjoy that pressure on the back of the heel. So overall, they've done an excellent job in my opinion in changing this shoe. I know a few of you out there may not enjoy it if you really enjoyed the lightness of the version 2, as it's increased from about 201 grams to 232 grams in a size 9 men's US. So it's a little bit heavier, and that provides a little bit more protection underfoot and a little bit more stability. However, those of you who enjoy that kind of race feel in a shoe that's non-plated that we got in the version 2, you may not get the same feel in the Hyperion 3, because it's moving more towards what the old Glycerin used to look like. It's an everyday shoe, a bit of a workhorse. It will be able to do longer distance mileage because of the extra stack and stiffness underfoot, so it'll give you a lot more comfort underfoot in our opinion. It can still do some early stage up-tempo workouts for sure, but it's definitely not a non-plated race shoe that some people might have used it for in the Hyperion 2. So it'll be interesting to do a comparison between this and the Hoka Max 6, which I'm sure we'll create later down the line. Otherwise, it's an excellent shoe if you want to use it for day-to-day use, as a leisure shoe for walking around for long periods of time. Otherwise, a bit of a workhorse of a shoe, can cover all sorts of distances, and it can do different types of paces, but not that sort of race pace that we saw in the Hyperion 2. However, if you got any questions on it, please drop in the comment section below. Put some links to them in the description as well if you want to check out the latest prices. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful, like and share and subscribing makes a big difference, and thank you very much for watching.